Warning: use professional supervision when creating equipment. This project has been rated hard.
The power rack. This power rack is capable of squats, bench, pull-ups. Hell, you can even curl in this power rack because it's yours.
The power rack is an awesome, versatile piece of equipment, dudes. It may be the greatest piece of equipment you can have in a home gym. We built ours today for under $200. We did about 8 hours of work, or you could just basically think of it as a weekend project. And the greatest thing is, we built this out of wood, which made it cost effective, like we said, but it also has some other great things that go along with it. It's quiet, so if you're working out in your house, you don't disturb others, and also it's lightweight, but it can also withstand very heavy amounts of weight as well, of up to 400 to 500 pounds.
Many people wonder if they should build a power rack out of wood. Is it strong enough to withhold the weight? It's extremely strong. These are 4x4s. These uprights, solid, the braces out of the same material, 4x4s, screwed with brackets. And 3/4 inch pipe as our safety rack, 3/4 inch pipe as our weight rack, 3/4 inch pipe as our pull-up bar. Anybody could do it with a few simple tools. That being said, let's get this project started. 3 options to cut the wood today that we're going to be using for the power rack. The first option is the hand saw. Cheap and effective. The next option is the circular saw. Costs more money, does a good job also. And finally and lastly, the most expensive is the miter saw, $400 to $500. The thing is, don't go out and buy it if you don't have it. We have it, so we're going to use it. You can do it with this. And look at that, $2. And you can make a power rack, saw your wood with that. Takes a little longer, but just as effective. You're gonna need a drill, either electric or battery powered. And that's gonna drill your holes through your wood. And a drill bit to drill the 1¼ inch holes. This is a tri-fluted drill bit. It's super fast and efficient. And it has a starter piece right there that'll help you line the holes up. We're gonna be drilling 56 holes, so this is the way to go. We're going to go over the wood we're going to be needing to build the power rack. We're going to make it simple. We're just going to use 4x4s. There's 4 of these. Those are going to be the uprights. There's 4 of these. Those are going to be the cross pieces that add strength. We're going to have a little leftover from the cuts. We're going to use diagonal bracing. It depends upon how high your ceiling is. We're in a basement, so our ceiling is a little lower. We're going to be using 7 feet of these right there, and in the leftover we're going to build the diagonal braces. That's it. A saw, a drill, and some wood, and then we'll go over the pipe. Some 3/4 inch black pipe, 5 foot long. These are going to be used for safety bars. And if you forget what you need as far as items or tools, check the description of the video. Everything's listed there. We're ready to cut one of the uprights. We got it measured at 7 feet so it fits in the basement. Got a line for the saw to cut to. Remember this, safety first. Have your eye protection, your ear protection, and always watch where those fingers are. Don't cut your fingers off. People have done it before. Let's go ahead and saw this. There's our first cut for our first upright. Okay, we've got the upright cut at 7 feet. Let's go ahead and cut the horizontal pieces that will go around the top and go around the bottom. There'll be 4 at 41 inches and 4 at 43 inches. Perfect.
All right, dudes, got all the lumber down here. It's time to start drilling those holes. You may be wondering why I have the hole in my Buff Dude shirt. Well, it went right along with what Buff Dad said about safety. I took a saw blade right to my side. Thankfully, I was wearing my Buff Dude's t-shirt. Saved my life, bro.
We've got all the pieces cut now. The total piece count for the 4x4s is 11. Got them all down on the basement now. Now we're gonna drill the holes in the uprights. That's where the safety bar goes through. So what we're gonna do is start out from the end to this point where the first hole is gonna be at 12 inches. From that point, we're gonna go 4.5 inches on center, which means 1, 2, 3, 4.5. That's the center of one hole to the center of the other hole. We're gonna repeat that all the way and get ourselves 14 holes. So let's go. Now we're gonna find the center of our 4x4. Remember, a 4x4 is not true 4x4, it's actually 3.5 inches wide. The center of that is gonna be 1.25 inches. So we're gonna put a mark there at our first hole and a mark at our last hole. Then we're gonna take a straight edge, whichever. If you don't have one long enough, just put another mark somewhere where your straight edge is gonna be. We're gonna use a piece of corner bead to have left over from the drywall in the Buff Dude's gym and put that on the mark. And then I'm just gonna draw a pencil line. Let's see how good this drill bit works. The cool part is, it's got a stub right there. You don't have to pre-drill these holes. Just put that right in the center. Keep the drill as straight as you can. You can brace it, and remember to put a piece of wood underneath it. That's gonna serve two purposes. One, you're not gonna be drilling into the concrete and dulling your drill bit. Another thing is, that's gonna keep the backside of this 4x4 from splintering out when the drill bit goes to the other side. Let's go. And there it is, front and back. You're gonna feel that board when you go through that hole. So you're gonna feel when you've gone through the 4x4 into the 2x6 below. Okay, I'm gonna drill all the holes through all the boards, which is 56 total. Let's go. There they are, 4 of the uprights with all the holes drilled. Now we're gonna start putting our power rack together. Okay, here are the uprights where the holes are drilled in. I'm gonna go ahead and set those down on the floor and come over to this end and take one of our pieces, that's 43 inches, and put it here in between. That's gonna be, this is actually our bottom of our power rack. This is gonna be on the floor. We're gonna set the sides down so we can go ahead and use these plates. These are galvanized plates to join wood. We're gonna put a screw in each hole. That's gonna join these together. We're gonna do that on all the 90-degree angles like this. See how that works? We're gonna go ahead and put a screw in there. It's a pretty long screw. You could actually use a little bit shorter screw. This is 2 inches. You could go 1.5 inches if you'd like, as long as it's enough to bind into that wood. But what's really gonna give us a lot of strength is when we put the diagonal piece in there. And that we're simply just gonna screw into after a pilot hole. So let's go ahead and put this together. We're gonna make sure that's at a 90-degree angle. So the power rack will come out all square. And as we go through this process of building it, we'll square everything up so it'll come out nice and even. Okay, we've got the 2 pieces of metal for the joint. And that is super strong right now. It's this way and a flat on this way. Really simple. A simple way to join wood together, and all hardware stores have these things. It's usually used for framing houses, but it works really well for a power rack. We're gonna go ahead and do all the sides like that on the power rack. Okay, we've got the bottom piece on. Let's go ahead and put the top piece on. And that's gonna go in between. Holy shit, yeah, baby. The nice thing about having a miter saw is you can make 45-degree angled cuts. Those are going to add a ton of strength to this kind of action, to the power rack. Really easy to do. 245 cuts to put into the 90 degree. These happen to be 10 inches. That's going to change depending upon the size of your power rack. Really aesthetic looking for that. Once you get that in there, you're going to add screws in a toenail fashion. That's going to tie that in and really strengthen it. You don't have to have a power miter saw to make these. You can use a hand saw if you're a buff dude. Okay, we're going to take these angled pieces, put them in, make sure they're flush with the top there, and go ahead and drill a pilot hole. If not, that wood is going to split out. You don't have to worry about measuring or anything like that. Just kind of get it close, drill that, keep it there, go ahead and put your screw in. These are 3-inch screws, and then we'll go ahead and use our impact driver. Nice. Then we'll go ahead and do the other side. We'll put 2 in each side. Okay, we got one side done. It's going to be super strong. We're going to go ahead and do the other side now, which is going to be exactly the same. So you only have to watch this side, and then you'll know how to do the other side. And here it is, the second half of the power rack, all done. Remember, dudes, girls, this is exactly the same side as the other side that we showed you how to build. So now that we have the 2 sides up, we're going to go ahead. I've already installed this bracket, and the way I did that was measure. These are 3.5 inches. So I measured down 3.5 inches, squared it up, and put some screws in it. I'm going to put another screw in there, and then do that for the other side. I got 1 screw in there now. I'm going to finish that off. Then we can put that top piece on. And once those screws are put in up there, then this thing's not going to fall over. Then we can go ahead and do the bottom. Then we can come over here and do the same thing, pre-measure, put the bracket in, and put the top piece on, and then we'll go to the 45s. Then we're almost done. I'm going to put that up there, and they'll make sure that these don't fall. And then square that up. Get my screw ready. Go ahead and put it in there. All right, that's going to stay. Let's go ahead and finish off the screws. Okay, let's go ahead and put this bottom piece in. This piece is 41-inch piece. These are the 43-inch pieces. So the ones that go in the back and the front are the 41-inch pieces. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put these 45 angled braces in there on both sides. And we're going to take the top and do it exactly the same way. Toenail those in. With these strong ties, these Simpson strong ties that you're going to be used to bracketing 4x4s, they come with a longer side, which you'll always want to put down because it'll support the weight better. And then the cross piece will go here. We've gotten down 3.5 inches. We're just going to put 1 screw in there. Then when we put the top piece on, we can kind of square it up, make some adjustments. Then we'll go ahead and put a 2nd screw in and then finish it off. If you're doing it by yourself, if you have some, see how that works? There's a gap there. You don't want that gap. So I'm taking my fingers on top and my other 2 fingers here and just pulling that tight and looking at it to make sure it's square. And watch your fingers. Sometimes this tip comes off and get your finger, as you can see it happen. I want to explain something. It looks a little shaky, doesn't it? You go, what? That power rack's weak. It's not going to hold up any weight. That's really not the problem. The problem is the floor. The floor, the concrete's uneven. A simple fix right here, a wooden shim. These are usually made out of cedar. You're gonna take it and you're gonna see this rocking going on here. That's because of the floor. Find out where the weak part's here. Here, there's a gap right there. Just as a demonstration, you're gonna drive that shim in there. Look what that did. We need a few more, but that took a lot of the wobble out of it there. Once again, once you get the weight on there, that's gonna stabilize it even more. But the structure is sound with all these timbers. We're gonna put the braces on now, finish that off. We're gonna put some plates on the back, a couple braces here, same kind of braces here. That way we don't have the plates on the front to distract from the beauty of the Buff Dudes power rack. Some people wonder why my hands shake so bad. They think probably because I'm nervous because I'm in front of the camera. That's not really it. I have this disability called essential tremors. I didn't even know about that until just recently. It's incurable. They don't know why people get it. It's inherited. Sometimes it gets worse as you age. Sometimes it doesn't. So far, sometimes they don't shake at all. Usually when someone's watching me, they start shaking. And too much coffee always is not a good thing, but I can still put a screw in so far. I'm installing some flat plates on the back just for these joints back here. We've got bracing here, here, here. Remember, we put some on the bottom there, and then we're just doing some on the back. It's gonna be extra, extra strong. These joints will never separate. It's done. The framing is complete. Now, for the very few last pieces, we showed in the beginning of the video a 5-foot, 3/4 inch black pipe with a 3/4 inch elbow with a 3/4 inch, 3-inch piece screwed in there. Tighten that up. These are going to be our safety bars. We're going to slide those in like so. It's nice to get 5 feet. The total width here is 50 inches. This bar is 60 inches plus our little pistol grip handle. That way it goes well beyond. And as far as safety goes, we're not gonna be too short and be squatting there, benching, and then this thing wiggle itself out and go like that. It's gonna be way through that. Here's what you're gonna need to build our racking pins. A piece of 3/4 inch coupler.
4.5 inch.
3/4 inch pipe, threaded on both ends. What they call a chair flange. A cap, 3/4 inch cap, and a 3/4 inch, 1.5 length of pipe. This is how it works. It's so simple. First, let's put the cap on, like so. We're gonna tighten this up as we go. We're gonna go ahead and put it through the hole, like that. Then, we're gonna add the coupler here. Now the coupler is gonna prevent this from going out. As you tighten this down, this can be tightened way in there with 2 pipe wrenches or channel locks or vice grips. Then from there, we're gonna put the 1.5 inch, 3/4 inch stub right there. And then from there, we're gonna put the chair flange there. And then we're gonna have a racking system. You're gonna wanna make sure when you put your racking pin in and you put the cap on the back side, make sure you tighten that all the way up. Because you're not gonna want to have loose threads and have that come out. Basically, your life's gonna depend upon how much weight you have. You don't have to wrench it on. You can if you like, but if you hand tighten it, tight enough to get it off and to change it. But tighten that up good and then go ahead. And that's how it works. You're gonna be able to have a lot of weight on that, and it's not gonna go anywhere. This is 3/4 inch pipe, through a 4x4. We're almost done. All we have to do now is paint it. I mean, you can leave it like this if you want. It looks nice. But we're gonna paint it just so we can make it look Buff Dude approved. Okay, we've got the power rack painted. We used a flat black, water-based acrylic enamel. Now we're going to paint the numbers on the hole so we know where to put the safety board. We're just going to use some white. We're just going to use a stencil. We'll see how this turns out. Pretty good. Got the stencils on. I really like the way that looks. It kind of gives it a professional look. And the best part is when you put your bars through, you'll know which holes you're going through. And the number 8, the hole is always above the number you're looking at. 9, this one, 10, this one. Once you get that in your head, it's easy to do. The cool thing is, the stencils only cost $2 and a $3 can of paint. And I just free-handed it on. I wasn't too worried about it. So it went really quick, like probably 30 minutes or less. I'm thinking this power rack is just about done. Yep, I like it. But it's lacking one important thing. And it's now Buff Dude approved. The power rack was one of the most suggested things for a DIY. And we want to thank everybody who made those suggestions because that gave us the motivation to build this thing. Now, we're going to build a bench so we can do the bench press. Not only that, as time goes on, we're going to do some options for this thing and make it really versatile. So keep those suggestions coming, dudes, and I'll see you in the next DIY video. But right now, I'm going to use my power rack. So let's make sure it's even 7. I need to go through.